9-9!
Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the comeback show of Unhinged.
Yay!
Woo! Yeah, we're back.
Yeah!
The only program dedicated to the harder sounds of the underground. After a solid 7-month break, we are back and ready to rumble. This is officially the first ever program solely on the YouTube platform. Applause.
Yeah! We love you, YouTube.
And as such, I get to say these sort of things. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here and you want to see more content about hard dance or associated programs, The Kick On, Scat Chat, Spun, please consider hitting the subscribe button, which will be right about, hang on, there, for more content coming up. Also hit the bell icon to be notified when we go live or upload a new video. It's going to be fun saying that over and over. With me in the studio is my brother from another mother, destroyer of worlds and father of dragons, Mr. Luke Davids. Yeah.
So, just a quick question.
Yeah, hit me.
Why haven't we been on the air for 7 months?
The truth is, we haven't been on air basically because we've been in trouble, in legal trouble with Zuckerberg. And we're not talking about Dave Zuckerberg, but the actual Facebook guy. After 25 court appearances, we eventually got an unfavorable ruling. Obviously, we've ditched Facebook completely and we're now on our new home on YouTube.
Holy shit. I had no idea.
You didn't have any idea because none of that actually happened. I've just been really, really lazy for 7 months. Hey, it's been a long time since we've sat across from each other. Hey, you, what's been happening for the...
A lot has been happening actually.
Yeah?
Let's just say a lot.
That's it? That's all you got?
Yep.
That is the most boring response to what have you been up to?
I'm going to save it for the next show. We don't want to let all the secrets out of the big show. We're going to let people...
Yeah, like we've got some huge shows coming up because like in the last 7 months, a lot has happened.
Yes.
Like a lot. Or some might say a lot is not going to happen.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, savage.
Soon, man.
D saying too soon. Hey, Luke, how about you tell everybody who else is in the studio with us?
Well, over on the couches, we have a couple of people. Repping our new brand, a new program, Spun, is Mz Haytch Shtave.
Hey guys.
Shtave.
Shtave. And from Scat Chat, we have D. Sup, D?
Sup?
Sup,
Good to be
dude?
back. Miss you guys, man.
Yeah, we missed you too.
Even though I see you every week.
Seen you on the weekend. So is there anyone here from the kick on?
No,
Outside's empty.
Oh.
there's no one here from the kick on, unfortunately. I think the boys have actually sent me a little message. This is what Jared's been up to, and this is why he isn't here tonight. Yeah. So he's obviously having a terrible time. We also caught up with a bit of what Dave's going on with. Yeah, I didn't cut that video too well. So yeah, the boys are obviously having an absolute horrible time over there in Croatia as they're just slaying everything over there. I think Jared got booked for one gig and has played MC'd every stage on every day. Hey, D, let's cross over to you. What have you been up to for the last 7 months, dude?
Same thing I was doing every month, trying to take over the world.
That's a Pinky in the Brain reference if I've ever heard one.
Hey! Shout out to Pinky in the Brain. Miss you guys.
You've been getting a bit nostalgic lately.
I have. I've been getting very nostalgic. I've been throwing back almost every day and just thinking about the good times back when I was a kid, when things was much, much simpler.
How good was Amazing?
It was amazing. It was actually amazing up until the point where they got into the maze, and then when they went through the maze and you saw the keys there and you're screaming, the keys right there, and they walk past you and you're like, you...
Yeah.
And then the only reason I really watched it was to watch Mario Kart, so...
Right? That was the best. And sometimes they had some other shitty program on game they play on that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's got nothing to do with why we're here. But how has the year 2019 been for you thus far?
2019 has been a great year.
Yeah?
And it's been an awesome year. Things at Massive are going extraordinarily well. Had some huge nights there. Been to Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane, and Perth, which has been great. So I think the cool thing is for me seeing how the harder styles have grown, not just in Sydney but across Australia. We're seeing multiple sold out shows, not just for international acts but for local acts.
Yeah.
Prime example is this weekend. I'll be up in Brisbane for Hardstyle Carnival with those Shot Guys, and they released the Hardstyle Carnival events about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and after a week it was completely sold out, which is an amazing accomplishment.
That's epic for the boys up in Brisbane.
Yeah, it's something they should be very, very proud of, especially because it is an all local lineup. You've got Firelight, Pulse of Sway, Weaver and myself, plus Brisbane locals. It's just to see how it's grown in Brisbane to the point where it is, and also Adelaide and Perth. Hardstyle is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, all regardless of the style, whether it's reverse bass, whether it's raw, happy hardcore, or euphoric. Harder styles are growing across Australia, and I think that's a great thing for everybody involved in the harder styles as well.
Yeah, that's epic. Hey, Cayza and Shtave, this is your first official appearance as hosts, so to speak. Just make sure you sit forward when you're talking so the microphone can pick us up.
Okay.
How are you today? Yeah, stop man-spreading, Shtave.
Yeah, cross your legs like a lady.
Yeah. Your breath stinks. I can smell it from here.
Welcome back.
I'm trying to get strikes on YouTube like within the first week or two. That's my goal. So how are you guys?
Yeah, really good.
Are you excited about Spun?
Nervous,
Yeah.
She said.
but definitely excited. I mean, it's been a long time coming. We've been working on it for a while now, so really excited to finally debut it. Yeah,
When are you debuting it?
end of the month.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's,
last week of July on the Wednesday.
Oh wow!
I think that's 3 weeks away.
So that'll be your first infringement when the show goes to air on YouTube.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because of the music.
well, yeah, that's going to be an interesting tackle. But I think with live mixes, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because we're also going to record the audio and slap that up on your SoundCloud that I noticed you created the other
Yes.
day.
Nice.
We did.
So then we've got a podcast. We're also
Follow us.
We're-
Fun.
what's that?
Said go follow us.
Yeah.
It's on SoundCloud.
You're gonna say SoundCloud. Look at them plotting world domination.
No, go for it. I say.
SoundCloud.
So what is
so fast?
what is Spun? What are you guys going to do?
Spun.
Well, it's a live cast, and we will be pretty much showcasing 100% Aussie talent. Go the Aussies.
Go the Aussies. Got so many great tunes.
Yes.
All the up and comers, which are a lot bigger, obviously. They're gonna more aim at the up and comers, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit,
Pretty good.
pull that microphone a bit closer to you guys.
Oh, you said you could hear us.
Well, I think
Is that better?
I think someone's moved the microphone to sit down.
That's probably me.
Sorry. Is that alright? Can you hear
Away
us?
from me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's fine.
Cool.
That's why I'm wearing headphones. Yeah, so that's going to be really exciting. I'm actually really pumped. We've done a few tests in the focus group, and so far that's been pretty well received. How are we going in the comments section there, Luke?
The comments are coming through. Everyone's saying hello.
Are you saying hello back?
Subscribe.
Hi.
Yeah, actually, I think a few more people have joined now. So for those that have joined, make sure you hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It took me so long to figure out how to put that button there. It sounds really like the last few months have been like a crash course in how to do YouTube, and crash course being the operative word. It's been interesting.
You get there.
So the point of tonight's show is just to basically do a bit of a soft open, because it has been a little while. I'm a bit out of practice in the whole... what are you smiling like that for?
I'm just a happy person.
You're a happy person. So we're going to talk... We're just going to have a little bit of almost like a Scat Chat sort of feel about this show.
That's the way.
Without going into too much detail. We also do have an announcement for next week. Next week's guests on the Unhinged show they're actually in this room. It's Luke.
Oh, that's going to be an easy process of elimination.
So Josie and Shtave are going to join us, or Mz Haytch, I should say.
I thought it was Luke too.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely not Luke.
So you guys.
Joking.
Luke's boring as.
Hey.
Hey,
You're saying that about my boy.
myself.
I'm like, what?
Otherwise, we're going to be flipping tables right now.
Do you remember earlier in the show when I said, "What have you been up to for the last 7 months?" And he was just like, "Yeah, stuff."
Maybe he was leaving it for next week.
That's it. Spoiler.
That's what I was doing. I'm going to make people hang for next week.
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not. That was not. Anyway, Josie and Shtave are going to be our guests, so we're going to find out a little bit more about our new hosts, and definitely going to dive very deep into what Spun is. Maybe we'll show some videos from the some outtakes.
No.
Save that for later. Save it and upload them.
Because
That would be the whole episode.
probably all of the first episode. Because I had to teach Shtave how to mix. I was like, all right. Do you know how to count to 8?
He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
10,
back 2,
3,
3, 4.
Now you know what I've been dealing with.
Yeah, exactly.
So over the next month, or probably 2 months, we're obviously going to be playing a bit of catch up on the news. We're going to be playing. We've got a lot to talk about on Scat Chat.
Lots, mate.
Scat Chat is going to be like probably a 7-hour show.
Hey, Cayza, sorry.
Yeah.
What have you been up to in the past 7 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never asked about you.
Yeah.
The last
it's
7
always about us. It's never about you.
It never is, no. Wow, I feel special now. I feel like I'm being interviewed.
What's been up, Caleb?
Yeah. Tell us what has been happening in the past 7 months.
For the past 7 months, I've been procrastinating about doing an Unhinged show. No, in all honesty, the reason why the show hasn't actually happened in the last 7 months is just life. Life got a little busy. The work got a bit crazy, and yeah, I just couldn't be fucked, to be honest. Oh, damn. I wasn't meant to swear. We're on YouTube now. Damn it.
It's all good.
Well, that's up shit creek.
Strike.
But you're well. You're good.
It just makes it hard to monetize the account, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've been great. Like, life's been really good. Got some exciting things coming up personally with hard dance icons.
Oh, snap! We forgot about that.
Tickets.
Yeah, that's coming up in about 3 weeks' time, which is really exciting. I've never done an event personally with 3 internationals, which you can almost say it's 5 because Alfie's still technically British.
I see what you did there, technically.
Yeah, see? And Steve's actually still Kiwi. So technically 5 internationals. There's like, anyway.
Actually, you know the one person I'm missing from that lineup?
Hit me.
Yoji.
Yeah. He was a late inclusion into the London Hard House reunion lineup as well. I think Steve and I had already locked in our lineup for the Sydney Hard Dance Icons leg of that event before Yoji came on board.
Plus, I think he's playing in Melbourne, and
Yeah,
it
so
really
he's
suits
doing-
that scene. I think.
I think a fair few people would come out to see him.
Yeah.
Like,
I
especially,
definitely
I mean, when you talk about Yoji, the first thing that comes to mind is Transmission.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's played so many epic sets that we all sort of remember and love.
Yeah.
He's sort of in the same tier as a Scott Project. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like whenever Scott Project comes out, it's always major, and it's
That-
always good
yeah.
to really sort of hear FM and those tracks. But yeah, that's just me.
I
Nick,
agree.
yeah, listen, last time Yoji came to Sydney, like he walked past me and I was like, hey dude, and he snubbed me, so I'm kind of like, fuck him.
No, fuck you.
Hey, what if he just didn't, what if he just didn't understand you?
Oh, I was like, yeah, it's possible actually.
Quick to jump, Caleb.
Hang on, admittedly,
Jump, Caleb.
it was in the middle of the dance floor, the club was still going, and like everybody was saying, hey,
Was it when he was on stage and he came down? He said, "Oh hey."
So Nicholas, who in the comments section is admiring the artwork that is behind Luke's head and behind everyone's head. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that too.
Who was the model for it? Kind of looks like.
It's actually real wall graffiti from somewhere in Belgium.
Closely.
So it's an actual wall
So
of
did they
Belgium.
take
Yeah,
a photo?
it's a picture, yeah,
and
which is kind of exciting.
Blew the wall in.
Kind of looks like Dave. Through the wall here. It's like the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, the unhinged budget is endless.
Kind of looks like Dave.
Michael Hicks has commented, he goes, I can't hear you guys because I'm watching from the state of origin. What a legend. Actually really keen to get Michael Hicks on the show for an interview.
Sure.
I-
Get Hicks and Toby on.
At the same time,
Why not?
could the screen fit that many egos? No, I'm only joking.
Caleb on fire tonight.
And I was just talking about Hicksy.
And that's the show. Good night.
Yeah, who is winning? Who cares? We're watching this show. Fuck state origin. Damn it, I swore again.
Blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't say that out loud.
No, I'm only joking. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
Queensland.
Obviously.
Hopefully, Blue.
Damn, we got it for a second.
Put a cheeky 50 on Queensland last game.
So wait, you want New South Wales to win, but you bet on Queensland.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to lose last time and I lost that, so I did. Yeah, I'm like.
This is the perfect representation of every Blue supporter. Every Blue supporter,
How
right
many years
there.
I need to make money, mate.
Luke is actually shaking his head at me because before the show started, I'm like, oh, maybe we should do like live. We should do live updates of the state of origin. And he goes,
All right, New South Wales convert 2-0.
He's actually watching it down here. What the hell?
I'm not.
Luke actually said, do not under any circumstances bring up State of Origin.
Good one.
He's like,
Yes, because fuck football, man.
he's like, people watch the replay and they will not understand what's going on.
Yeah.
For everyone watching, State of Origin's very highly watched rugby league game.
It's
In case you're from overseas.
It's a Sydney thing. It's an Australia thing.
Yes.
Hey, so a lot's happened in the not too distant history of hard dance. One, of course, being Hard Island and DEF CON in the Netherlands. How'd everyone feel watching DEF CON knowing that we don't have one anymore?
I seriously
cried.
felt like I really wanted to be there. I had serious FOMO.
Yeah,
It was insane.
Yeah.
DEF CON really looked incredible this year. The helicopter flying around. Imagine we had that shit here.
no,
No.
I can't.
We can't even have DEF CON.
Did you watch it though? Like, did you actually listen to the whole thing?
Yeah.
'Cause it was like, there was so many shout outs for Red Bull in that 20-second span. It's like, look at the helicopter. Red Bull. Red Bull. Red Bull. I'm like, we get it. It's sponsored by Red Bull. Like, for me, like, don't get me wrong, it was cool to see, but I'm like, I'm kind of want to hear like music rather than watch a helicopter.
The stage was amazing.
Yes,
The
it
production was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that stage. It looked like someone, I saw a photo and it looked like someone done something on like computer, like graphic design flyer. I'm like, actually, that's the stage. Like, it looked that crazy. I try and find the photo. Nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts, that stage.
Blue stage looks really... even black stage looks about 10 times bigger than what it has been at previous DEF CONs in the
100
Netherlands.
times bigger than Australia's stages too.
Any of the stages in the Netherlands.
We have a capacity of about 20,000. They have about 60,000 people just camping.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
60,000 people
It's
camping.
really
Yeah.
hefty.
No way. 60,000 people camping.
Something like that. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
And even if it's not something like that, that sounds really impressive.
300,000 people camping.
It was 80.
But Luke, have you ever been camping at DEF CON?
I sort of went glamping. I had a chalet.
Ooh la la, a chalet.
Yeah, I had a 4-bedroom thing with a kitchen
Never
and
even fucking
everything.
heard of that name.
Oh, so in Wallaby World, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah.
Do you know what I've just realised about doing this show on YouTube?
What's that?
See, one of the beauties about Facebook is when someone commented, their name came up. On YouTube, everyone, like...
Everyone's got like retarded names.
Raven's Echo, she shares my sentiment. Like, it was nice watching it, but then it sunk in that we don't have one anymore. So whoever Raven's Echo is, like, thank you for your input. This is going to be weird to get used to, like, because I'm used to being able to just call out people's names and so forth. Rox Fox asked, did they sell out this year? I don't think DEF CON in the Netherlands did sell out. Does anyone know?
I have no idea.
No.
But it wouldn't surprise me if
It did.
It did?
Oh, yeah.
It did?
Just saying.
Why did you say that?
Has everyone said yes?
Nah, screw facts. Let's just make them up. Yes, it sold out.
Have you been working for Daily Telegraph lately?
Yeah. Listen, I think the Daily Telegraph's going to get a fair mention on Scat Chat, especially with the inquiry going on at the moment in regards to festivals, because the Murdoch machine has gone into overdrive to try to combat any of the findings that are going on at the moment. So yeah, we're going to cover that in the news, obviously, because there is a lot going on with this inquest. And of course, Gladys Berejiklian has indicated that she's softening her stance on the lockout laws, or potentially. I'll believe it when I see it.
It's too late.
Didn't they-
They've killed Sydney.
I thought they were already going to bring it back to like 2:30 or something, wasn't it?
No,
What's
so
the
what they're
report?
going to do is, because they want to make Sydney a 24-hour city, they're going to relax the lockout laws when all the developments have been built.
Yeah, which at the moment could be 20, 50.
No, so these are the developments down at Barangaroo, and they should be completed in the next year or so. So once that high roller casino is up and going, then it'll be 24-hour trading.
Yeah. Luke, you're giving me that look as if to say you want to say something.
No.
Oh.
Just looking at you.
Can we go back to DEF CON?
Yeah, yeah. What do you want to talk about? Go for it.
It was. I mean, there was a lot of discussion about Q-Dance in terms of whether it was right or not to offer a paid service to watch all of the stages.
In terms of the live stream, do you mean?
Yes, in terms of the live stream, yeah. So essentially, you had the free stream, which is whatever Q-Dance wanted to show, but then there was a paid service where you could actually watch whatever stage you wanted at whatever time.
That feels reasonable to me.
It's reasonable, right?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people out there felt that Q-Dance was just trying to make a quick buck, and it's like, well, you think about it, the logistics that go into having a production team at every stage, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. And for them to televise it.
Well, shit costs money.
That's right.
Let me tell you, from someone who set up a live stream studio, this shit that isn't free.
And it's true. I mean, I think people do forget that while a lot of us are doing it for the love of music, we are still trying to make a living from it, and as are a lot of businesses, and that's a fact that gets lost on a lot of people because it's like, oh no, they're just money hungry grabbing.
Yeah.
People say that.
A lot of people say, like, regardless of not just Q-Dance, but I mean in general, they're just saying, oh, people are just trying to get rich off it. We're not trying to get rich. We're trying to get. If you think that service is deservedly paid for, then pay for it. Like,
I think it's I think even just the live stream itself should be well, unless it's sponsored, and that's where I would draw the line. If it's paid for, and like. Sounds like Red Bull's throwing some money there at DEF CON, but if it's already paid for by some kind of corporation, then charging to be able to watch it is a money grab.
Yeah, but just to be clear, so you still had the free service in terms of red,
Yeah.
and black, but it was just the other stages that was a paid service.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Like, if I could, I'd make this a paid service.
I thought that was
Calm down, everyone. That's not what's about to happen. Or is it? Okay, that
and
joke.
now it just got really awkward. That
joke fell very, very flat.
But DEF CON was good. Like I think it hit me when I saw the main stage.
Yeah.
And I actually realized, well, we don't have a DEF CON here.
Yeah.
Not to say that DEF CON may not be back in the future. It's just, I think because DEF CON was such a symbol, not just for ravers, but for artists that wanted to play there, and to not have it this year, it is a big blow. And I think there are a lot of discussions that need to be had in general to resolve those problems, because I just don't feel that anybody sort of addressed the reasons why we've lost it.
Yeah.
I know that the inquiry is going, but that's the inquiry. I think we do have issues within our own world that we need to address and fix ASAP. Otherwise, even if DEF CON comes back, we may start to see these problems arise again.
I think there's already some stuff coming out of that inquest in terms of why there is no DEF CON this year, including some liquor licensing stuff that's come out with which we're going to cover in next week's show in more detail. But yeah, it's not all just about drugs and deaths and the mishaps. I think there's some stuff in the back of house that is starting to come out of in regards to DEF CON, which I'm not going to go into now because I'll do that next week when I fact check everything, right? I don't want to get sued on our first week in YouTube. And of course, Hard Island, which is it just wrapping up now? Is it finished?
No, it's still going.
It's
days.
It's still got a few more days to go, doesn't it? Because it started on the weekend. And Dave and Jared from Unhinged, of course, are absolutely killing it over there. I don't know if anyone's seen. I've actually got more FOMO over Hard Island than I do with DEF CON, if I'm going to be totally honest. Like DEF CON is definitely more epic and on a much bigger scale, but Hard Island just looks a lot more fun.
How many Aussies are representing
I know,
over
it's
there?
Pretty much
Isn't
like
it
they shift to
hectic?
Australia, right?
Didn't Dave say welcome to Hard Island, Australia?
He did. I'm
While he was at for context, people, Dave was emceeing, and instead of saying welcome to Hard Island, Croatia, he said, "Welcome to Hard Island, Australia." So
Which is weird because he's never said welcome to Hard Island, Australia either.
he must have seen so many Aussies that he felt it was like Hard Island.
Well, it kind of feels like it. Like Sway looks like he just played a killer set. Dave PSI played like I think he was booked to play 1 set and has played like 6.
Yeah, they're trying to kick him out, but he won't leave.
And that's not Hard Island trying to kick him out. Grace is trying to kick him out. He won't leave.
Did you know I did ask the boys? I was like, have you guys actually been billed for all this stuff, or will you guys just not get off the stage and hand over a microphone? As it turns out, they're allowed to be there. Apparently, Jared was only booked to do 1 set, I think, and the guys running Hard Island were just like, "Wow, you've got lots of energy. You do this stage, But I'll let him tell that story, of course, when he returns. I think he's got a bit of a villain story as well. MC Riddle, huh?
MC versus MC.
Juicy, sounds juicy.
It is.
Wow.
But what have you guys heard about Hard Island so far? Be brutal.
Mixed.
From an artist perspective, or if you're artist friends, it's great.
Yep.
I know there's been some issues with it, but I mean, personally, I've got a lot of love for Hard Island. It is one of the most fun things you do, but as a punter, you do need to be prepared. And when I say prepared, you need to make sure that everything is confirmed. And that's all I can say. I mean, it's no different to you traveling anywhere else overseas. Just make sure you're prepared, make sure you're ready. All the videos that I've seen from Hard Island have been epic. All the feedback that I've gotten from friends, which are basically DJs, have said it's really, really epic.
Yeah.
So going on that notion, I guess it must be epic.
Well, I haven't heard any stories of anyone being stuck on an island for 4 hours waiting for a boat to come home yet. So too soon? Too soon?
Gold Coast.
Riddle said there was one moment, one night, Sway was on main stage, Dave and I were emceeing, Toon Raziel were on the rock stage, and it was 100% Aussie for 2 hours. That is actually pretty crazy.
Are they taking over?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Aussie guys over there. A lot.
Yeah, I think Jake. I've seen some of his videos. Whose DJ name is
Back to Basics.
Back to Basics, but I think he's over there playing as Punch and Pie. Yeah,
Punch and
with
Pie,
Shane. But like every video, like it seems like everything's packed. Like it's a smaller area, but everyone, like even really early on, except for the boat party. I didn't dig the boat party videos only because
I feel I'd be mad at that boat.
there was no waves. I'm like, you're not on a boat party unless like you can't stand up straight because of the, you know.
Over.
Remember when you go on a frantic boat cruise and you'd be dancing around, then all of a sudden the whole crowd would all hit, and then they'd all hit the right. That's when you know you're on a boat party. Natalie is saying Hard Island is incredible. Yeah, good to hear from you, Natalie. Can't wait to have you back too. I can also announce for the kick. Excuse me. Beer burps. For the kick on, they're going to diversify the show a little bit moving forward for the rest of the year. So the kick on is going to incorporate both UK hardcore and what people call hardcore, or I'd call Dutch hardcore. So all hardcore. Gabba.
Cool.
Get your gabba on. Are you going to do some gabba on Spun every once in a while, guys? Or?
Yeah, sure. Why
Yeah.
not?
So,
I'll play anything.
Yeah, sure, all right.
No, I love hardcore.
nothing to
I bet you do, buddy. I bet you do.
Would anyone in the room like to have a guess at how many minutes before Sway's set did Sway rock up at Hard Island?
22 minutes in.
So he rocked up before his set.
Yeah, but by how much?
2 minutes then. By water taxi too.
Do you want to have a guess there? Dan?
No, I know when he rocked up.
Jared says about 35 seconds before he had to start.
That's good
But-
for Jace.
That is barely enough time to load your USB into it.
But you know what? That's
Yeah.
I mean, given that it's where it is, that's actually understandable.
Yeah. I don't know anything really about the location of Hard Island in Croatia.
Yeah, I mean, as long if you've got your transport sorted, you're fine. But I mean, it does take a while to get to the clubs. But I know, yeah, I mean, if you're not there in time, it's not usually a worry. But it's a lot of fun.
Dave's got a lot of stories already. He's shared with me, and he had a similar thing this way. Like he had to get a Uber to speed to the venue from the airport for him to make his set as well. So yeah, it must be hard to get to. It must be a little bit away from the airport or from the city or whatever.
Well, you've got Zadar and Zagreb, which are the two airports, and they're both an hour and a half, 2 hours either side of Novaya.
Right.
So if you're getting off the plane and you have to go straight to your set, that's going to take a while.
Yeah. I'm going to smile and nod like I'm following because I barely even know where like Bankstown is. So.
I just gave you the time either side of Navalia, 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. I'm more just hanging shit on my lack of geography knowledge.
That's like how long it takes me to get here.
Well, you do live in Mordor.
Not bad. Good choice.
Oh man, I was gonna start the show with that. I totally forgot. Not bad. Good size.
Good choice. Not bad.
Oh man. YouTube. Yeah, Nicholas says the rehab boat cruise. There was never a rehab boat cruise, but we did do the HD Harbour cruise many moons ago. We should do that again, actually.
What's the HD Harbour cruise?
That was actually a party.
Last year we did.
Yeah, that Yev, myself, and Jozzy did. And that's when I first met DNA. Like, spoke to him, and I'm like, probably, and because I'd spoken to him a heap of times at Massive, and then I'd walk away. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. And so on the boat,
Probably walked away thinking.
on the boat cruise, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna ask him. I'd had a few drinks, and I'm like, just out of interest, I'm going, are you Rico?
God, dude.
And he's like, are you saying that because we're both Asian or something? And I'm like, yep. And he goes, I'm DNA, and I'm like, all right.
How come Rico was your first guess?
Well, I don't know.
Why wasn't it Arby or something like that?
Because I know Arby,
Rico,
right?
I think you have.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
What?
Rico.
Or
They're trying to see if they've met Rico.
I don't
No, I
know.
thought you said that you had him on. I'm like,
I don't.
He
I
wasn't on the
don't.
boat.
Listen,
oh,
I don't know what my train of thought was at the time. I was like,
Clearly after a few
Still
drinks,
working
wasn't
out.
trying to thought.
I should have asked him if his name was Sway, because then
Yeah, but he was actually there, so it couldn't be Sway.
no, Sway wasn't there, so that was alright. Anyway, that was awkward. Yeah, I don't
Back to
know.
Hard Island.
I don't know where to go from there. Yeah. Have you got something to add about Hard Island, or shall we? I was going to move on to some HSU announcements that have been made.
Do it. Move on.
Yep. So, at the end of the last HSU event, the colours of what was it?
show your true colours.
Show your true colours. That's it. There was a big announcement that said that HSU were going to do an outdoor festival, and everybody in Sydney, after reeling from the disappointment of the cancellation of DEF CON, celebrated and rejoiced at the return of an outdoor festival. And the other day they announced it's in Melbourne.
I think that's a
now we
great
know how it
move.
feels like to be interstate people.
Honestly, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I haven't been in Melbourne in years, so I'm actually keen to go down there.
I think this is a really good opportunity for Melbourne to really grab a hard dance by the balls and really establish itself. Like, it's already established itself, but like cemented that. Everyone's looking at me like, shut up, Cam.
I'm trying to figure out where you're going with that.
I'll see myself out.
Nice love tune.
I don't know. I was just trying to be nice
That's
to
all
Melbourne.
they announced. HSU announced a lot more than that.
They have. They got a few Enmore gigs.
Yep, and they just announced Gamma.
Just announced Gamma. Now I'll put it to the
That was a
group.
happy hardcore fucking event. I'm like, he doesn't do happy hardcore.
I thought Gamma said he wasn't going to play Happy Hardcore again.
So
Probably
Gamma's been doing a fusion of trap, hardstyle, UK hardcore. He's playing a bit of everything, so he's just making whatever he feels. I think he just put out that he wasn't doing solely only a happy hardcore.
Yep.
And that's fine because I mean the stuff that he's coming out with is absolute fire. I love it, and I know a lot of people really love it as well. So if it's going to be like any of his shows from the US, it's going to be absolute fire.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just didn't know because I know they did announce that they were going to do one UK hardcore type event.
I think they still will.
Yeah.
I don't think that's it. So they've got a UK hardcore intro party. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, I'm gonna take a guess and say it's gonna be Stonebank.
Yep.
I know they've got a Raw party. They've got the outdoor festival, and they've got one more at the showgrounds.
People can pop in the comments who they think who's going to play at the hardcore one. What's that? Sorry.
Apparently it's multi-stage as well.
The outdoor one.
2 or 3 stages.
Yeah, and imagine they do it out at Flemington Racecourse.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
As a former Victorian, that's where all the big events used to happen.
Oh, you
What
can
about the
show us
docks?
around.
They used to do stuff at the docks, didn't they?
Yeah, but not multi-stage.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm curious about that. I'm really curious because I was having.
Hang on, just
I've had
just
this,
get closer to the microphone, man.
I've had this discussion with quite a few people in terms of the Melbourne crowd, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, Melbourne can get 5,000, but how many, I guess, people from Sydney are actually going to go down?
Hard Island though.
Huh?
A lot of people went up for Hard Island.
From Sydney?
Yeah.
Half of
Oh,
Sydney is
actually-
in
Yeah, no, there's heaps of Sydney
around the
people.
world. People will have no problem going to Melbourne. Melbourne's got
I
a
reckon
much
so.
more relaxed police state. They've got
Still a police state, just more relaxed.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the amount of people that come up from Melbourne is about, let's say, 800, right?
Yep.
Is a similar number from Sydney going to go down, or is it going to be a lot more that's going to go down?
HSU have such a following.
Yeah, I reckon they will.
gonna sell out.
Yeah. I reckon Sydney will turn out in numbers, especially with a complete lack of festivals that are currently exist here now.
Yeah.
If HSU let the tickets out tomorrow, without even knowing a lineup, people would be buying tickets.
The only reason why I think Sydney might not is just because it's so close. It's relatively close to the last HSU event in Sydney, which was Show Your True Colours.
Yeah, but that was last week. I mean, that was like
A couple of weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, but only a few weeks before that was the previous big HSU event.
I think there's enough time between events. I mean,
Yeah.
the only reason I kind of wonder if people are actually going to make it out to Melbourne is only because,
Because the weather sucks down there.
dude,
Hey.
the weather's been crazy down there. Hot. It's just I mean, it's a lot easier just to buy a ticket than have to pay for a ticket, accommodation, and flights.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but is it like Sydney's had it pretty easy for a long time? Let's
I
be
completely
honest.
agree. I couldn't be happy if that Melbourne's got its own that HSU are taking it to Melbourne. I think it's definitely the right call. I just hope that people actually make it out and support it, and it all goes to plan, because if we can continue this sort of momentum in other states, then it's going to be better for the other states as well.
Melbourne's got a huge trance following.
Melbourne's got a huge hardstyle following.
Yeah, hard dance. I like Melbourne's where I fell in love with hard dance, not Sydney. So Melbourne's alright.
So we're going.
You guys alright?
Might. I might pop down and I'll go and see mum and dad.
Oh snap! Dinner at Caleb's house.
Caleb's house is in country Victoria. It might be a little while.
Dinner at Caleb's house.
All right, let's move on to what's coming up on the shows moving forward from here. Of course, as you know, we've moved to YouTube. Some of the things coming out that we're going to do with the YouTube channel is all of the recorded episodes previously. I'm going to chop them all up and we're going to put them in segments on the YouTube channel, sort of like little 5-6 minute bits and bobs that were interesting. We're also going to put on some of the interviews that no one ever saw. The ones that were in the focus group from the get-go.
God.
Oh Jesus!
No, like the video quality is absolutely shite. Like it's so bad, but like there's one interview I'm really keen to get on YouTube.
What's that one?
The John Ferris one. So the John Ferris one actually never was published live to the public. It was only in the focus group, which was only viewed by about 100 people.
It's because we're going to have mobsters chasing us after that goes out.
He did speak about the Ibrahims quite a bit.
You can have what chasing after you?
Mobsters.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. No, it's all right. They don't live in the cross anymore anyway, so it's well and truly done. So obviously everyone's got to subscribe onto the channel, so and hit the bell notification.
Ding.
Do it.
We're obviously going to promote the shows through Facebook in terms of leading up, and we're going to share the videos afterwards on our socials. We're also going to set up a Patreon page.
Oh snap!
So a Patreon page is basically where you can be a financial contributor to Unhinged. I know, right? But there is some added benefits because we're going to put a whole bunch of very exclusive content into the Patreon page, including little interviews we're going to do after the show airs. Hey?
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Just nothing from the very ends of the show. You know when you turn the mics
Oh,
down
you'll
and
get
then
it.
we all start having a laugh?
Yeah.
None of that.
Why not?
Because half the time we're going, are the mics off? Make sure the mics are off.
That never happens. We don't speak ill of anybody.
Do you remember when Folk was playing?
No.
We won't go there. We won't go there.
Good times.
Can we go there, please?
Good times.
It'll be on the
When the
Patreon
mic's
page. When all the microphones are off, I'll tell you about that story.
Are they off yet?
Andrew just got dumped in the shit by Luke.
Oh, snap.
Image on the screen is fuzzy boys. I don't get what that. I don't know.
Another beer.
If this,
It's pretty good, Luke.
by the way, if the imagery is a bit blurry on YouTube, this is the other cool thing. You can change the setting to HD, and you can see my beautiful face for all of its glory.
Ooh, perks.
Don't change it to HD.
So, I did a test video during the week, and then I put my own face on HD, and then I switched it back to 480. I was like, can't have that. So coming up on the Unhinged program with Luke and I, of course, we've got Cayza and Shtave are going to come in, and we're going to do a proper sit-down interview. Hey,
Georgie.
Jozzy.
Yeah, you got it right
Joggy.
there.
Jozzy, aka Mz Haytch. Thanks, Shtave. Turning your microphone off.
It should be Josie's as well.
I'm actually really excited for that, and I want really our audience to get to know you guys a little bit more before we actually launch into a show, just to get a little bit of a background on you guys as DJs and also as people, and your flavors or taste in music. Flavor Flav. We can send it. I don't know. We can just start mimicking.
Postman, that's all I do. Send it.
Send it. Good size.
Not bad.
Not bad. So yep, that's coming up on Unhinged, and of course all of the news, all of the stuff that's going on with the inquest into festivals, we're going to cover that stuff. Plus basically 7 months worth. I'm going to have to spread some of those news articles over a few episodes, I think.
Damn, that's a lot of rants.
A lot. I'm going to bring back the Cayza's DJ tip too.
You had a DJ tip?
Yeah, so the Cayza DJ tips aren't actually about DJing. They're just about how to conduct yourself as a DJ.
I'll need to get some of them tips.
Just about what to do when you're playing like your first back-to-back set, how to approach promoters about asking questions and that sort of stuff. I did it.
Badmouth them.
I did
and
it.
ask for a set.
Yeah, I did. Don't badmouth them and then ask for a set. That is a solid plan.
I kind of don't know whether this is actually being legit or if it's satirical.
No, I used.
Oh, cool. Sorry. It just sounds like the scenes that like the situations you mentioned sound like satirical.
The fact that you even thought that I was being taken the piss says a lot about what you think about me, D.
Love you.
I actually want to get Steve Hill involved in the tips as well. I know when we had Steve Hill on as a guest, and we were talking about it, he actually asked, he goes, when you start doing how to act on Facebook and be a DJ, he goes, can I come in on the show and sit down and I'll give some people some tips as well, which I'll probably take him up on that offer. In all
Just
honesty.
pre-record it.
Watch that.
Just pre-record it.
Yeah, like a PSA.
Yeah, we could do that.
So you know how they have like PSA, they have like nice sort of music at the start, and you have like tips on how to be a DJ. And the star goes flying across the screen, and then person appears, and And now you know.
I've probably got on my phone. I've probably got about 3,000 screenshots on how not to do it from various different people. But yep, that's coming up on the Unhinged show. I used to do the DJ tips right at the very start when it was in the focus group.
That's probably why I didn't see it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, okay, that's possible. On the kick on, I have absolutely no idea
Let's kick on.
because we don't have a Jared or a Natalie or.
Well, we're also expecting a lot more international artists.
Well, we are actually speaking of international artists, and like some people might have seen my post on Facebook not long ago. Let's see if I can find this. This almost happened on Monday, and you'll notice that I've actually gone to the Hard Dance Icons flyer. That's totally on purpose.
He's just rusty.
But this is what nearly happened. We nearly had Unresolved in the studio. At the 11th hour, that didn't quite work out though, which was a little bit sucky.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they arrived on I think Thursday, and they were still pretty jet lagged and weren't feeling as well. So unfortunately, but
Organising internationals to come into the studio in the very short time that they're here is definitely a struggle.
However, going forward, we will be looking to be doing interviews with artists that are coming over.
Yep.
And not only that, what I kind of would like to do is to get questions from viewers and people out there on stuff they would like to ask their DJ. So once we do get confirmation, we'll announce it via the Unhinged page. And if there's any questions you would like to ask them, please put them in the comments, and then we'll collect them. And then no matter how silly they are or how different they are, and we'll put them forward to the DJs for you.
Yep. So get your questions ready for Deadly Guns.
Next week. I don't think we're going to organise it that quickly, Luke, just quietly. Riddle has commented and he said, on the first kick-on, which is coming up in August, there isn't a kick-on in July, will be a Hard Island recap and a special guest international. Mm-hmm. Sounds like he's maybe done an interview over there. Just maybe. Which is really exciting. Am I moving on? Scat Chat. What's coming up on Scat Chat, D?
Sweet fuck all and not That's why I can explain it, because I don't know. That kind of depends on Dave, really.
That's the beauty and the whatever the opposite of that is of Spun, Dave.
It's the complete opposite of Spun.
Pretty much anything could happen, but no doubt Dave will fill us in on. I actually thought about just calling it, like, changing the logo of Spun just for the July edition and just.
Sorry, I didn't mean to stop.
You're right there.
Read the comments.
Yeah, right.
Read the comment.
What happened?
Oh, where is it? It's going too quick.
Oh dear.
Jared's one of Jared's comments.
I don't even want to repeat that.
Repeat it.
But I'm going to. Also, we dug around and found out that Dougal was in a porno in the 90s. Not even joking. I'm not.
Oh, damn it.
How do I moderate comments? I was thinking about changing the logo of Spun to just Dave, because I'm pretty sure he's just going to talk about Hard Island and his European trip for pretty much the 2 hours. You don't even need to come in, Dave.
I'll be back in a jiffy.
I'm joking. That's
You better get fresh batteries for the red light.
yeah.
We may as well just leave it on.
I tried that last time. Have we told the audience what the little light does in here? Have we done that?
What?
Which light?
Do you want to explain that, Luke? You haven't said
Is
much.
this the one that
so
we
far.
failed to use?
No.
They couldn't get the remote
With the
working.
remote?
Dave wouldn't stop talking, so we bought this light that changes colour, and as soon as Caleb finds the remote, we'll show you.
I don't know.
Green is all good, orange means stop talking, and red means
Dave, shut up.
you can
Abort mission.
And the first time we tried it,
yeah.
it failed. Because
The red
it
light
doesn't
came on,
matter.
and Dave just picked it up
Yep.
and held it towards the camera while he kept talking.
Yeah. I was
So
sitting
in
there.
other words, it doesn't work.
I was sitting there going, we'll change it to red, and all he did was hold it up.
but then the second time he kind of.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he looked at it and laughed and then kept going.
Yeah, he just does. I think if it works, it just means he ran out of. He actually just finished what he was gonna say.
Maybe it's reversed, like green means stop, red means go.
Leave Dave in the red light. Yeah, I can't get over what Riddle just wrote then, but anyway.
However, so Scat Chat, I think there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be definitely a lot to cover on Scat Chat.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to hearing how Dave's tour/holiday went.
Yep.
I definitely believe it's going to open up a can of worms. What we're going to talk about.
Yep. You're moving away from the microphone again.
My bad.
Yeah, but I think we'll put Dave on a 20-minute time block for him to say whatever he's got to say. We might even leave the room for it. And then after,
it's just going to be the whole show. We might as well just like set it up, press record, and go.
but then we'll start talking about excuse me, about other stuff.
Stop the mic.
Yeah, it doesn't work. He just moves. He just moves to my mic.
And then we stop Caleb's mic, and then it moves to my mic, and then it's just dead silence.
He has literally done that before. I've said I'm turning your microphone off, so he just appeared behind me and started talking into my microphone. Yeah.
Head.
Yep. But by the time Scat Chat airs, a lot more of this inquest would have happened, and we're going to find out a lot more about all that sort of stuff, and obviously speak about DEF CON in greater detail, the Australian DEF CON in any case, and whatever else is kicking on in the hard dance scene. Looks like hell yeah we are. Yep. And of course Spun is I'm pretty pumped.
Brand new episode.
Well, it's the first one.
First episode. I mean, brand new show is what I meant to say. Sorry.
All your previous shows don't matter anymore. They mean nothing.
Yeah.
They're done. Of course, with Spun, it's going to be a bit of a learning process, just like it was with all the rest of the shows that we've done so far, where we sort of figure out what works and what doesn't work, and evolve and go from there. Which I'm really excited to see that progress. And we've only done a very limited shows in the focus group, so pretty much everybody is going to see that progression, which is really exciting.
Makes it more special.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, so quick question for them.
Yeah.
So if there are Aussie artists out there that want to send through their music,
this is great.
How can they do that?
Yes. We have an email address that is being set up.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm getting there.
And we also have a page which will be
Probably already
published.
followed you on SoundCloud as well, or we will be soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will publish our page soon, and all the details will be up there for you guys
Awesome.
to check out.
Yeah, it'll be all over the Unhinged Facebook page as well, and we're going to do a really big call out for Aussie artists to if you want us to through Spun to promote your craft, you can always just inbox the Unhinged page
Or us. Yeah.
exactly.
Maybe just keep it to one channel, because if people are sending it to three different
Yeah.
people.
We've already been messed around.
But on that note, I think this is props to you guys for doing this. I think it's a great opportunity for Australian artists to be able to get their music out. It may not be of the greatest quality, but it may sound great. So don't be afraid to send your stuff through, because any exposure is good exposure, and especially if someone digs it, you never know. So
Yeah, exactly.
to all the Aussie artists out there, make sure you get your send your music through.
I'll be honest, when you guys said that you're going to do only Australian music, I'm like, well, you're only going to be able to fit in like a few shows then. And then after we did a few, I was like, there is so much good Australian produced
There is
music.
So many
So
artists
much.
that we found as well. So many.
I'm pretty sure our show doesn't really have a time limit either, so
Yeah.
we just kind of
We're
roll
going
with
to go
it.
for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Longest show.
A lot of music
Gonna have to listen to
showcase.
my voice
So
for that long, jeez.
For those that are watching who aren't a part of the focus group, I can tell you that it's basically a live mix, but so much more. We really go into a little bit of depth about the artist and the track, and I do believe we plan on doing during the mix interviews with those artists.
yes.
Is there any sort of undiscovered artists that you guys have stumbled across so far that you guys are really keen to sort of get out there? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot a little bit there.
Know them then. Keep it a surprise for now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That is a very...
There's two that I'd like to see. One is Twisted Melodies.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other one is Nebula.
Yes.
These two guys have definitely been doing a lot of great stuff. Like Krytum as well, Diesel, like the amount of Aussie
list
artists
just
out
goes
there
on.
in terms of producers.
Yeah, Diesel played over in Hard Island, didn't he?
So congrats to Diesel who scored his first set.
Cayza did as well.
Yep, there's so many Aussie artists over there, but there's so many Aussie producers that are coming out.
Yeah.
And it's really, really awesome to see.
Getting younger as well.
Dude, Firelight just turned 18. Point out.
Andorex is still 18 or is he 19 now?
I
think he's still 18 as well.
About 19, 20.
One of the really cool things I found, like, going through the music with your show is, like, finding out artists that are Australian, that are from Sydney. Like, I had some of them, I'm like, they're Aussie. I had no freaking idea whatsoever, you know?
Aussie, but not from Sydney?
Well,
As in from interstate?
yeah, like, I've obviously clearly met a lot of the Sydney-based hard dance producers. So, like, to be perfectly honest, the interstate ones aren't necessarily on my personal radar, but it's really good to see that they're on your radar because, some of them I just thought they were Dutch, and they're not.
To be honest, I thought some myself would take it.
So I'm really keen to see that.
Yeah, I think that's, like I said before, like at the start of the show, I think that's the cool thing about the hardstyle representation across Australia now. It's not just Sydney. I know in previous sort of DEF CONs, going back about 2-3 years, it was basically only Sydney people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the big losses of DEF CON, is that we don't get to. I mean, even though UV stage is a UV stage, it still showcased Australian talent.
Yep.
And towards the last probably couple of years, it wasn't just Sydney talent that was being showcased. There was a lot from Melbourne. There was a lot from Adelaide.
Didn't they have the DJ comp that was running one in Brisbane, one in Adelaide?
That's in the last few years, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was only the last couple of years.
Yeah, right.
So you still have the DJ comp, but then you'd have the 10 finalists, and the 10 finalists would get chosen, etc., etc. So it's great to see the amount of artists coming out from Brisbane, from Adelaide, from
Adelaide's killing it now.
yeah, from Melbourne and from Perth,
Yeah.
that are coming out. And I really do hope that with HSU, that they do invest in Australian talent. I know it's just whether it's an opening set or whatever, or whether it's on the other stages, especially with the opportunity for this Melbourne festival. I know a lot of people say, well, they're Aussie, I can see them anytime, but you don't see them. You only see the internationals and you go outside when they're playing. So this is an awesome opportunity, and I hope that HSU does get behind it and does feature a lot more Aussie artists on their stages.
Speaking of DJ comps,
Uh-oh.
Massive are doing a DJ comp at the moment. Entries closed for that now?
Yeah, so they closed on Sunday, and we're currently going through those mixes as we speak.
Do you get to have a listen to those, Dean?
I do.
Is any standing out so far?
So far, there's one who's been put through on the shortlist.
Oh!
I know this.
And his name is Cayza.
Did you want to elaborate? Or I suppose you can't. We shouldn't do that. Actually, that would be unfair.
I know nothing.
You know,
I just read.
or, you know what? The really cool thing is that there's a lot of, like, they're all standouts at the moment, and then this competition is going to be very, very, very hard to sort of judge because of the high quality talent. Again, it comes back to the fact that we've come such a long way where people know how to DJ, but what's going to set them apart is what they're playing, in terms of the energy throughout the set, transitions and whatnot. So out there are some really, really technically gifted people, but there are people that do bring the energy that aren't technically gifted at the same time. So it's going to be very hard to judge, but we're really, really excited. And so far, we've all been very highly impressed.
What's the winner get?
A date with you.
They get to play main stage.
No, what does the winner
on
get?
They get to play main stage at Massive. I think monthly.
Yeah, so it's a monthly main stage gig.
A monthly? What?
And in-state as well. When they
Should have put a
that's
mix
tours.
in, eh?
Monthly?
Yep.
Jesus. Hang on, I'm getting the graphic up on the screen at the moment.
And what are you guys? What's like the criteria for judging? Is it like a mix of energy, transitions, a certain style, a mix of styles?
To be honest, just if
I think it's
good.
just
No, but that's
Yeah.
the thing. I mean, so many competitions are based on popularity, but we are looking like. That's the thing is that if it sounds great and they can do it live, and the thing is they're doing this live. It's not. It has to be one set. It has to be live. It's a set up. If it sounds great, then you should be able to transfer what you've done there onto stage.
Yeah.
Right. So that's definitely the criteria.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are looking for you. Still, it's not going to sound good if the transitions aren't there.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, there are over 50 entries across
Yeah.
reverse bass, euphoric, raw and hardcore, and happy hard. So
Yeah.
I actually went to submit a hard trance mix, but it said that the mix had
Main
to,
stage last week.
the mix the mix had to be 20 minutes, and I did the mix and it was 2.5 songs.
well done, Cayza.
So I didn't submit it.
Funny because that'd be
Steve
true
has
as well.
commented. Let us know.
Steve said 1 year main stage residency playing monthly. This
Awesome.
is bullshit.
And-
I had to work so hard to get main stage.
And then all expenses interstate gig also put on my message.
Also get an all expenses paid interstate. What the? Is this for real? Man, I should have read the fine print and entered this shit myself.
Should have submitted those 2.5 songs.
Yeah, and 2.5 is if I short mixed it. But just, yeah. Anyway, that's an epic prize. That is so
Especially
cool.
for such a huge club. Massive
Yeah.
is. Look at all the. Massive feeds our music really.
Well, I was having when we went to dinner with Unresolved the other night. Like, it was really fascinating to have a chat to him about what Massive's reputation is on a global scale for an international DJ, and it's like it's the bucket list. It's the bucket list of clubs to play at for Dutch DJs and producers and European, American. Like everywhere wants to play at Massive. Like. For someone to be plucked from absolute obscurity, I assume, and to be able to play once a month on the main stage and then play a all expenses paid interstate gig, Jesus, that is freaking cool.
I think that I guess the main takeaway from this is that it's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
And also you look at the guys that have been playing at Massive, especially guys like Andrex, Firelight, and Rico, and also the other guys that have been there for a while, Epidemic. It's basically an opportunity to springboard yourself, and not only that, it's basically exposure to everyone.
Oh, that's huge. That's just an amazing prize.
It's an amazing opportunity. Like it's a springboard.
Yeah.
It's just up to obviously people what they do with it.
Yeah. Well, Steve actually just put in there. He said all the mixes so far have been top shelf.
Yep.
So I was never in for a chance. Oh, I thought it was funny. Yeah. Luke's over there just nut.
Like, shut up, Dad.
Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much. That pretty much covers the show. I just wanted to do a bit of an intro. We all got in here. It's exciting. I was really nervous at the start of the show.
Thanks
Well,
for all your
this.
messages, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks for everybody for watching. Couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, the chat's been going. Like, I was actually kind of worried that, like, we'd have 3 or 4 people watching because we've moved to YouTube. Like, it was actually a really scary decision to move to YouTube because Facebook's so safe.
Yeah.
So hang on. So sorry to interrupt, but what was the reason moving to YouTube? What was the actual reason?
It's a much wider audience.
Yeah, it's because I want to chop all the videos up and do little 5 or 6 minute videos as well.
Right.
The YouTube, the platform is just more accessible from the masses than what Facebook is. Like with Facebook, you do a live video or you put a video up and it'll stay in people's news feeds for about 7 minutes and then it disappears. Whereas YouTube, there's it'll come up on suggested videos. I just think it's a better platform. The video quality is about 50 billion times better. Like so much better.
So are you still going to upload it on Facebook as well or not? Or is this going to be solely on YouTube?
Just YouTube. We're just gonna solely build it. Because if I put everything still on Facebook, then it gives no one incentive to support the YouTube channel.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain is at for that. I don't know how this is going to work with music. Because with YouTube, once you get 3 copyright strikes, your channel's
I've had
gone.
about 20. I've had more than that. I'm still up.
So you've had 20 warnings.
Something like that.
Yeah. So when we were originally doing the videos where
I think they just take it down, to be honest.
when we did the videos where we did it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. After every show, because we had a live mix at the end, I probably had like 40 emails from YouTube saying that I'd breached copyright, but they weren't going to do anything about it.
But did they take it down?
No.
Yeah, I think they just mute that section.
Yeah.
So if they listen back, then it'll just be muted for half of it.
But
the whole thing will be muted.
But when you get a strike's a big deal. Like you've really ripped something off, and you only get 3, and your channel gets
See how we
pulled.
go.
Yeah. But once again, that's also why, we're going to do away with the live mixes at the end of shows. There isn't going to be one after the kick on. There's not going to be one after Unhinged anymore.
Oh, cool.
There's never been one after Scat Chat. So the only live mix that Unhinged is going to do is going to be the Spun show. And I think that decision was made just so we could spend some more time with our guests and really, like, we've got some guests lined up for the Unhinged show, which... ideally we could actually talk to them for like 7 hours because they're so in depth. Probably not you guys.
Come on, man. I'm a chatterbox. What do you want about? I haven't stopped talking this whole time.
It's true. But that's the reason why we're moving to YouTube. It's just a better platform. And it's easier for us to reach international people as well. Like with Facebook, we are limited to who's liked the page realistically. So we're just going to see how it goes.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Well, that's the first show.
That is the first show. We got through
Welcome
it.
back, guys.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming in as well. I know I had like no plan for this show whatsoever. I'm just like, come in. I'm really excited about probably the next 6 months. At the end of the year. Obviously, all the shows are weekly now.
Next 6 months is going to be busy.
Except for the Wednesdays when there's 2 Wednesdays in a month. I haven't quite decided what we're going to do on those Wednesdays. Like 5 Wednesdays in the month, I mean. There's going to be an extra Wednesday. Is what I was trying to say. Anyway. All right, we're going to go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video. Tell your friends about it. We really
Tell your mum
want
and dad about it.
Yep. Well, probably...
And your granddad and your grandma.
Probably
And
not.
your brothers and
Everyone.
sisters.
Probably not your granddad or your grandma. Like,
You'll love it.
get it in there.
You'll love it.
You never know, I guess. Yeah. So like, subscribe, give us feedback and all that sort of jazz. We'll leave you to it.
See you guys.
Go Queensland!
Check out.
Oh yeah, hang on.
Up the Blues!
Who is winning? Who's winning?
2 seconds. Don't give me an ad.
Yep. Don't care anymore. All right, guys.
Didn't care at all.
See you all later. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh shit, we're still on.
on.
Wow, Techno Boy just
Twice so
commented.
far. Half
On?
time.